Whoever feeds a hungry believer, no human, nor angel, nor divine messenger knows how great their reward is in the hereafter, except Allah the Almighty. Eid is a painful time for those who are impoverished and needy in this world. Your donation will allow us to purchase sheep and prepare the meat in the holy city of Imam Hussein alayhi to nourish and bring joy to those who live in a great difficulty. So don't delay, donate today.
Sajjad lives with her 6 children. Sajjad has passed away from a stroke. Brothers and sisters, we are here, and honestly, I think the situation, the scene speaks for itself. There's entrance to bathrooms, to doors that have no doors. They have literally put a sheet that is pulled to enter and exit. Brothers and sisters, we're sitting on concrete, rock, hard, solid flooring. This is where they sleep, this is where they eat.
جينا الشتاء احنا فيضانات ومطر وان هم اسمهم صيف شتاء يعني مرضى بسبب الشتاء هذا. بيت مكشوف يعني احنا نعتبر كأنما قاعدين بالشارع عبارة عن سياج.
Brothers and sisters, the situation of Sajjad needs to be looked at in the best way. I want you to understand that she's got 6 orphans she has to look after. But it's your donations, your contributions, we will ensure that Roda, that Fatima, and Sajjad's dream will come true, for her to have a permanent shelter, a true ceiling over her head, and an education for her children.
Reap the rewards of charitable deeds and experience the power of giving. The more you give, the more you receive in the form of joy and gratitude.
Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam. شنو اسمك? His name is Fadhil, and I think Fadhil is like 3 years old. He's one of the orphans in the orphanage. شنو تريد هديتك؟ عادي؟ مطمئن؟ يلا بسم الله خلينا نروح نسأل أسئلتك. Hassan is 8 years of age and only mom is here. Hassan, بابا وين؟ بابا؟ نعم. بابا ما هو ميت. شنو سبب وفاة بابا؟ كهرب. لا إله إلا الله. بالليل تشتاقين لبابا؟ ايش قد تشتاقين لبابا حبيبتي؟ هواية يعني ايش قد؟ بقلب العالم. شنو يفرحك نبا؟ الهدايا. بعد شنو يفرحك؟ الجمعة. ايش قد فرحتي؟ شوية لا هواية؟ هواية؟ ايش قد هواية؟ راوني بإيدك ايش قد؟ الله 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 الله.
وايد فرحة.
He is really happy to see you, he says. وإن شاء الله تيجي تشوفنا مرة ثانية؟
إيه.
Her response is that I have nothing else for me to choose from. There's nothing else for me to pick from. So this is the only thing that I can love and appreciate and have. شنو تحبين تصيرين من أنت كبرين؟
كابتن طيار.
إن شاء الله إن شاء الله. شو نصيحة كابتن علي؟
إيه.
كابتن علي. Please donate now at Imam Hussain Charity Foundation. حبيبي عاشت يديك. Thank you.
Those among you who believe and give will have a great reward.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here in Karbala, close to the Karbala football stadium, and we've come to an area here where all the local kids have just come to see us because they never ever get visitors, they never see camera equipment, media team, anything like that. And with these kids, you see all of them are smiling, they're so happy just to see, you know, people. The smallest things will make them so happy. This guy here hasn't stopped smiling since I came, and he invited me into his home, and he was saying, "Come inside, sit inside." All of these kids have been taking pictures. This little one, look at her. She can't even put, you know, she can't even stop showing her teeth, mashallah. But it's the little things that make these kids happy. And all you guys need to do is just donate a little bit so we can give these guys even medicine, education, help them with their schoolwork, food. Even we'll take them out for a day. We'll take them to the park. We'll take them to get some food. We'll give them a present, new clothes, and so forth. all this can be achievable with your help and your donation. So visit us at imamhussaincharity.com to see the latest campaigns where we can come and help children like these.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Distinguished guests, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ali Fadhil and welcome to Imam Hussain Charity's Qurbani show, 10 Days of Mercy. Syed Mohsen, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Mohsen Shah. You may have seen me here on Imam Hussain TV, along with my co-host Ali Fadhil, Mullah Ali Fadhil, I must say.
Yes.
And inshallah we'll
quite
be
nice
taking...
in our little white IHC.
Yeah, we do. We were discussing whether it should be black or white, but...
Nah, white.
White, yeah.
Do you know why it's white?
I do and I don't, because over the last couple of days it was Imam Jawaz Istishhad that we're going and commemorating.
Yep.
But apparently it's like changed now. We're celebrating.
Yes, we are celebrating the marriage of Imam Ali alayhi salam to Fatima Zahra, which was on the 1st of the Hajj, which depending on Raji'at, moon, whatever it is, it should be on this day. So it's the start of, number one, the Hajj season. So a lot of our friends and families are traveling towards Hajj any day now to start with the
Stanwell
rituals.
Mosque must be filled with couples right now, getting the
Yes.
and the Akhira done.
Yes, yes.
Back queue.
Yeah. I actually, on that note, I invited one of the speakers to come onto the show, and he said to me, "What day?" And I said to him, "Saturday." He goes to me, "Is that the first of the Hajj?" I go to him, "Yeah." He goes to me, "Bro, it's wedding season. Leave me alone." I was like, "Do you know what? It is what it is." So that's the way it is. Right. So we are asking for some lower thirds. So we need to understand what the show is about. The lower thirds are on your screen. You can see exactly what you are contributing to. Right, we are exclusively on Imam Hussain TV, but this is an Imam Hussain charity show. There is a lot to get through today. We're going to be talking about the philosophy of Hajj and Adha and sacrifice, essentially everything that the Hajj rituals are based on. We're going to talk about personal experiences of Hajj. We're going to show you some fantastic videos of some of the work that we are doing in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and neighboring countries, especially when it comes to Qurbani. What does Qurbani actually mean? Do you know Qurbani? I think I was speaking to my parents today. I'm like, "Yeah, Mama, I have a show on Qurbani." She says, "What's that?" I go to Qurban, Qurban, like Qurban sacrifice, dhabiha. She goes, "Oh, dhabiha." I was like, "Yeah." What do you use as the term?
Qurbani is in Urdu, or where we come from in our land, it means sacrifice.
Sacrifice, okay.
So you can, we use stuff like my Jan Qurban, like my life be a sacrifice for you. So it's not to do with just the biha, it's sacrificing anything, whether it is, your time, your effort, your money for the charity.
Yes.
That's how we use it interchangeably.
Yes.
And yes, for the biha we
disclaimer as well for the dear viewers and the dear brothers and sisters out there, there is going to be a lot of pictures of meat.
Yes.
So any vegans around there, turn your face now. This is going to be a horror show for you. However, we look, it is what it is, and this is all sunnat of Rasulullah. Let me just stand here because it's going to get very, very weird right now. But look, it is what it is. This is what exactly is happening around the world. This is what we are doing in order to help the less privileged. This is in Africa. And you can see
this one's Iraq.
This one specifically in Iraq as well. All of this is being prepared through your donations, brothers and sisters. So let's remind you of what today is all about. Qurbani is a sacrifice, and you are able to contribute. It's very, very highly recommended during these days to sacrifice in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not doing this because, you know, we felt like it. There is a wisdom behind it. There is a massive Islamic principle behind it, which we will get into very, very soon. But first and foremost, should we run through what they can contribute to, I guess? If we can keep the lower thirds on the screen.
Yeah, if you could, producer, keep the lower thirds on the screen. Every year we have the Qurbani appeal during the time of the Hajj and so forth. And we are helping those in need, in destitute families in Iraq, Afghanistan, and also in Africa. You know, £195 will get you, I think it's a whole animal. I'm not sure which one. Probably a lamb or a goat, but £195 will get you an animal sacrifice there, and then the meat is cut up and distributed to those in need. £110 for those brothers and sisters in Afghanistan, and also £40 for those in Africa. And inshallah, all of those, your contributions and so forth, will go to help those destitute families. We have been helping them in the past. These are some of the orphans that we actually help out. And yes, do you remember we doing Ramadan? We give the iftar pack.
Exactly.
You know, and it's people like it's people like this that we help, and it's the same people we are helping during this Qurbani period.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers at home, do not be shy to do two things. Number one, call in and tell us about your Hajj experiences. Tell us about Qurbani, sacrifice, what it means to you. And number two, you can follow the socials. You can like, share, whatever. Get in touch during the details where he's pointing at. But most importantly, it's to contribute. It is to share from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon you for those who need it most. We're going to go to a very, very short video, which myself and the charity has produced. I'll give you a bit more indication as to what goes on behind the scenes. Here it is.
Across the world, there are families that are not celebrating Eid the way they should be celebrating. There are thousands and thousands of people who are suffering from hardship and hunger, and that's where you can come in. Your Qurbani donations can make that difference by, hopefully just for one day, providing these families with a bit of hope so that families, maybe just for one day, forget about their hardships. Share your Qurbani donations to Imam Hussein charity and provide a nutritious, healthy, clean meat to those families that are desperately in need. In places like Africa, in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan, sacrifice just a little to give a lot this Eid. Donate today at www.imamhussaincharity.com.
Welcome back, dear viewers. If you've just joined us now, we've introduced the Qurbani show, 10 Days of Mercy. Starting from today, the 1st of the Hajj, up until the 10th of the Hajj. There is a lot that's happening throughout this month of the Hajj. Namely, first and foremost, it is the marriage between Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. And can we get this off? The marriage between Fatima Zahra alayhi salam and Imam Ali alayhi salam. As well as next week being the Shahada of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam and Muslim ibn Aqil. That's next week. But sandwich or just after that will be the Hajj rituals. Yeah, the Hajj rituals. So a lot of our, as I mentioned, a lot of our friends and families are heading to, well, these days it's getting a bit expensive. I mean, but
it's the Father. It's one of them places where you decide which passport you're going to apply with.
It's not just the passport. I mean, it's reaching.
It's cheaper with a Pakistani passport apparently.
Okay.
A lot more affordable. But with my British one,
yeah,
it's an arm and a leg. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, it is an arm and a leg. Excuse the pun. Anyway, right. So what we're saying is that a lot of our friends and families are heading towards Hajj at this moment in time. First and foremost, they're going to be conducting the ziyarah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as them making their way towards Mecca. Of course, when you make your, by the way, I learned this in Umrah as well. Yeah. You're not allowed to step into Mecca if you're not in Ihram.
Yes, that's
at
true.
all.
That's true. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
so even if when we're doing Umrah,
I think correct me if I'm wrong, but if only Muslims are allowed in Mecca at the time as well. If you're non-Muslim, you have to get out.
Really, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to.
I doubt there's any non-Muslims in Mecca. Maybe
Mecca, I'm not sure. In Saudi Arabia and Riyadh and stuff, there's plenty of what they call themselves expats now.
Oh, the expats. That's what they I doubt they're going to go anywhere towards Mecca.
But I think in the Hajj period, I think it's strictly Muslims only.
Right. So away from the Hajj season in Umrah, I personally experienced this as well. We're not allowed to enter Mecca if you're not in Ihram. So we had to go to a masjid just outside Masjid Shajara. You put on your Ihram, you do your talbiyah, and then you head. It is an amazing experience. Wow. We'll talk about the experience later on. However, when it comes to kind of Eid Al Adha, right? Adha, from what we know it, is described or is translated to sacrifice. And the whole Hajj experience is based on sacrifice. It was the sacrifice that Nabi Ibrahim made with his son. So he was supposed to be sacrificing his son for the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we wouldn't be able to understand Eid Al Adha if we don't understand the story of Nabi Ibrahim and Nabi Ismail. So Nabi Ibrahim is very old.
Indeed.
Right? He's reached a very, very old stage. Child.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the love and the attachment that he had towards this child. So imagine, all of a sudden, he gets a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, listen, your only son, I need you to kill him.
Sacrifice.
I need you to sacrifice him.
Yeah.
Now, the amazing thing about this, the word Islam actually comes from submission as well.
Yeah.
And it actually says in the Quran, فَأَسْلَمَا. Right, فَأَسْلَمَا. Both of them submitted. What does that actually mean by both of them submitting? It's not only Nabi Ibrahim saying, I submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the conversation that he had with Ismail, when he says, look, my dear son, in the dream, I had that I have to kill you. What do you think about that? His son also says, look, if this is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then do what you need to do. You'll find me of the patient ones. So both of them, they sacrifice. So the number of rituals that we do, there is, if I'm not mistaken, so you go towards Arafat, right? Arafat's amazing. You've got the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam there. You spend some time in Ibadah. Timings wise, it doesn't matter, but you then go from Arafat to a place called Muzdalifah. And then Muzdalifah, you go to Mina. Mina is where you're throwing the stones.
Oh, the 3 pillars. It used to be 3 pillars. Apparently it's just a wall now.
Yeah, it's a massive wall.
Oh, so you don't.
So
I'm giving away my age.
oh, was it just 3 pillars?
Yeah, back in the day.
I went 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
To Hajj, and it was 3 massive walls. Yeah.
Okay.
3 big walls. And we were told, actually, yeah, you're right, because we were told to throw towards the middle of the stone, not on the sides.
Yeah, because that's where the pillars used to be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't covered. Was yours covered with a roof or a tent or something?
It was covered.
Yeah, it wasn't covered.
The whole thing
Back
was
in the day,
covered.
it wasn't covered.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't covered. And it was like a column. Something similar to, the Egyptian needles that they have?
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, and there was like a little round, you could say, a moat pit.
Yeah.
So all the stones would fall into that and so forth. And you have to be very careful because people at the back are throwing stones and hit your head.
100%, yeah. We were told to go as far forward as you can, collecting stones. Anyway, so the whole idea behind that is you're throwing stones towards Shaitan because Shaitan was actually present in that conversation between Ibrahim and Ismail. And Shaitan comes to Ibrahim and says, listen, are you really going to, this is your only son, this is your life, your soul, your heart. You're really going to do this? And he goes, look, A'udhu billahi min shaitan rajim, I'm going to do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered me to do. So he actually then goes towards who? He goes towards Hajar, the wife of Nabi Ibrahim, and he says to her, look, your husband is going to do 1, 2, and 3. Are you sure about this? And she says, if this is the case, then Nabi Ibrahim knows what to do. And I also submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he's like, Shaitan's like, this is a lost cause. I've given up. So the whole idea is after you do that, before you make the sacrifice, so before you take off your ihram, then you perform the sacrifice.
Yes.
You then perform the taqsir.
Yeah.
And then you take off your ihram. So after all of this cleansing, do you then remove the veils of your past?
So you're saying,
that's what it is.
So the way you put it there, as in you do all the rituals.
All the rituals.
To purify
then the clothing
yourself.
of your past, you purify yourself. Then you can take that
Then
off.
you can step out of the
Then you can step out of the ihram. And the wisdom behind that and the relation to what we're doing today is, listen, brothers and sisters, there's a lot that we sacrifice in our lives. And this Hajj season reminds us that Nabi Ibrahim, although he was very old, right? He wasn't able to have kids, but he still found it within himself to say, okay, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills me to do this, then I am submitting to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm going to sacrifice. And then Allah gave him, in return, not only did he spare his son, but he gave him another son through Sarah. Right? So that was the reward of Nabi Ibrahim.
And Sarah was the one that was very old.
Yeah, she was very old.
When the angel Jibreel came to tell her that you will have a son.
Story.
She yes, in the Quran.
Oh.
She hit her face in shock.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
me, an older lady, how am I going to have a kid?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the
So
way
look, we'll talk a bit more about, I guess, the wisdom behind Hajj. We're going to go on a very, very small break, show you another video. And this video is of a family that is benefiting from the Qurbani season.
من كان أبونا موجود مكفينا كل الأمور، لكن بعد وفاته هواي الأمور تغيرت. يعني مسؤولية أولاد وعندي بنية، يعني مرينا بظروف كلش صعبة. وفاته عنده خبيث بالمعدة، وتوفى بأول يوم رمضان سنة 2021.
Brothers and sisters, I can't emphasize how difficult it is to sit and hear the cries of those who are in need, and they're not asking for much, they're only asking for the basic. If Muhammad had enough financials to treat Abu Muhammad, then Abu Muhammad will be sitting alongside them. He'll be working, providing for them as a family. However, they didn't have enough financials to cure him and give him the right treatment for him to be alongside them. Brothers and sisters, your donations will ensure that they'll have the education that they need, they will have the food, they will have a roof over their heads. Brothers, sisters, give, donate and contribute. Let's make a change now.
Give the gift of hope. Charity begins with a single act of kindness. Donate today.
Assalamu alaikum. The point of Eid Al Adha and Qurbani is to show complete submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and also to sacrifice for His pleasure. Now, for you and me, chicken meat is a staple in our homes and a necessity which we take for granted sometimes. However, in places such as Africa, Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan, meat and chicken is a luxury. This Eid Al Adha, why not sacrifice some of your money in order to feed those who go hungry every year? Sacrifice a little to give a lot to someone this Eid Al Adha. You can donate at www.imamhussaincharity.com.
Imam Sadiq alayhi salam once said, "Whoever feeds a hungry believer, no human, nor angel, nor divine messenger knows how great their reward is in the hereafter, except Allah the Almighty." Eid is a painful time for those who are impoverished and needy in this world. Your donation will allow us to purchase sheep and prepare the meat in the holy city of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to nourish and bring joy to those who live in a great difficulty. So don't delay, donate today.
Our Qurbani represents the devotion of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, who was ready to sacrifice his beloved son for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the reward and blessings they both received from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a result of their submission. The essence of Qurbani is to reaffirm that we must completely submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it be our wealth, our time, our work, or our home. If we sacrifice what is most dear to us for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just to be closer to Him, we are fulfilling our duty as faithful Muslims. For destitute families, meat is an unaffordable luxury, and so it is a joyous occasion when they can enjoy a Qurbani meal. Your Qurbani is a gesture of kindness, compassion, and sympathy. By donating to Imam Hussein's charity Qurbani campaign, you are providing these families with a chance to celebrate Eid with the rest of us. Don't miss out on a multiple rewards on Eid Al Adha. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our Qurbanis and make them a means to draw closer to Him. Ameen. Act now and donate at www.imamhussaincharity.com.
Rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the Imam Hussein Charity live show here on Imam Hussein TV London studios. Now, brothers and sisters, we've been discussing Eid Al Adha, we've been discussing the Hajj period, and also we've been discussing how you guys can get involved and how you guys can make a significant, magnificent difference to destitute families all over Iraq, Africa, and Afghanistan. If you guys want to donate, down below you can see the different packages that we have, and you can scan the QR code, which is over there somewhere, I think. On one of the corners, you'll see the QR code that will take you straight to imamhussaincharity.com website, where you can choose the package you'd like and you can donate. Now, you might be wanting to help people in Iraq. You might be wanting to help people in Africa. You might be wanting to help people in Afghanistan. You might be thinking, wow, these packages seem a bit pricey. They seem a lot. I can't give as much. It's not a problem. Give what you can. You can give half. You can give a quarter. If you want, we have a small package for £25 that will give mixed meats. It can give a bit of chicken, lamb, a little bit of beef, and so forth to those destitute families that need your help. Now, many this Hajj period are going without food. Hunger is a great problem in these areas. It has been throughout the whole of last year. Every campaign we do, whether it is the winter time, whether it is Ramadan, Muharram, we are trying to help feed as many as we can. As Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, that to feed someone is of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says himself that to feed someone is of the greatest deeds. Brothers and sisters, when we feed people, we are helping by giving them rizq. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen us to do His work by providing rizq to all of these people. You guys can get involved. Why not call us in 0203 515 1122 or visit imamhussaincharity.com, where you guys can get involved with the campaigns. We have other campaigns too. We have the Eid gift campaign, where these orphans will be taken out either for a day out, to the playground, to a restaurant, or we'll be providing them with a nice present, brand new clothes that they can use and wear during the Eid celebrations. Furthermore, on the day of Arafah, it is a very significant day. Those who go to the deserts of Arafah to recite du'as, to recite ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, we have volunteers to help recite the ziyarah of Arafah on your behalf at the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's right, brothers and sisters, at the Hadra, at the ziyarah of Karbala, the final resting place of Sayyid al-Shuhada Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. We can have people recite on your behalf with a small donation, inshallah, hadiyah, and we'll have people there to recite on your behalf. And finally, also, we have the Sadaqah appeal, where we give Sadaqah to those destitute families and orphans who need it. Brothers and sisters, here at Imam Hussein Charity, we do so much for, whatever we can with your help. And it's only with your help that we can perform such, duties, and we can give and perform such charities. Whether it's sending children to school, whether it is sending, adults to learn a new skill to, earn money, whether it is to you know, help people with medical backgrounds and so forth. We are here. You guys can get involved simply by going to the website below, inshallah, or giving us a call 0203 515 1122. And inshallah, Mr. Ali Fadhil will grab his clipboard and he'll be able to give you some more in regards to the program that we're having here today. It's nice to see you, Mr. Ali Fadhil. Assalamu alaikum.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for letting me.
We had a bit of an
moment.
emergency, but alhamdulillah, it's all clear now, yeah.
It's all right, it's all right. That's
clear.
what I'm here for.
It's all gone.
That's what I'm here for.
Right, alhamdulillah. So, what were you saying?
I was going through the different campaigns that we have, how we're making a difference, how people can get involved, whether it's, you know, through the charity or through the Sadaqah app as well. We were discussing also, you know, obviously we're giving meat, but we're also giving children the opportunity to have an Eid, to celebrate by giving them gifts for this Eid.
Yep.
We've also discussed in regards to the Yom Al Arafah, there's a special ziyarah that if you guys would like, if you donate, we get someone on your behalf to be there at the shrine of Abu Abdullah Hussain.
Fantastic, yeah.
And also to you know, perform the ziyarah.
So just a reminder again, once again, to the dear viewers at home. Adha, Eid Al Adha, is all about sacrifice. And so it's really a matter of what will you sacrifice in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially during these times. The Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam recommended it very, very highly. Hajj, the whole Hajj, which is wajib upon you and I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to sacrifice an animal in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is deep roots within the Quran, especially when it comes to the story of Nabi Ibrahim and Nabi Ismail. And if there's any lessons that we can draw from that story, is that, once again, if you've just joined us, we were talking about the philosophy of Hajj itself. You know, what is it about sacrifice that is important to us in this day and age today? Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam was of a very, very old age and he wasn't able to have children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with a child, but tested him with that child only a couple of years later when he said to him that you must kill that child. And so he turns to his son Ismail and says, Inni ara fil manami inni adbahuk. I see in my dream that I must kill you. What do you say to that? And both Nabi Ibrahim and Ismail submitted to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Muslims, that's what we do. We submit. Sometimes you want reasons why. Sometimes you want the wisdom why. But Nabi Ibrahim didn't question it. Nabi Ismail didn't question it. He said, look, as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling me to do this. And Allah then gave him a reward for Nabi Ibrahim and Nabi Ismail as well. Gave him a reward, and that reward is another child after Nabi Ismail as well. So that's what we're asking you, dear brothers, in the name of the 10 days of mercy, the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, in the name of sacrifice, will you be able to contribute a small amount towards those who are in need? On your screen now is essentially what is being sacrificed and how they are being prepared for those that need. By the way, on a note as well, I read that when it comes to people, especially in Afghanistan and Iraq, nutritious meals, Syed Mohsen, is very, very hard to come by.
True.
They have to kind of dig in the dirt sometimes. They have to rely on people giving them food. They have to rely on food that's been in their fridge maybe for a couple of days, even weeks. So nutritious meals don't come regularly to them. And so that's what not only we're providing the meat, but I think we also provide things with that as well. So things like the rice and the lentils and whatever they need to have a meal. But look, it's Eid, right? Towards the end of this Hajj season. And you and I are going to go to the mosque. We're going to wear nice clothes. It's technically an Eid, so we're going to wear nice clothes. We're going to do the prayer. We're going to do the qanuts we're going to do the qanuts, right?
Then have breakfast.
But there are those out there that are not going to have that. And that's the bottom line here, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why I've taken time out of my Saturday. Syed Mohsen's taken that time out of his Saturday.
It's a
the
beautiful
guys
day.
at the back. It is a beautiful day.
Sun's shining.
We had to cut it short, but we're here for a good cause, and we're hoping that you can
Indeed.
join us in that cause. And that cause is to sacrifice a little for them to gain a lot, inshallah.
Brothers and sisters, you can get the QR code right there. You can visit imamhussaincharity.com or give us a call 0203 515 1122. Our volunteers will be there to take your calls and inshallah help you with the donation process.
Okay, so we're going to go to a short video. This video is essentially when you provide something for a child in Eid, you often want to know what their response is like, because sometimes, when you pay sadaqah, I don't really know where it goes. And sometimes you see it on the screens, sometimes you see it on your phones, but we want you to see firsthand what an Eid gift is like for a young person. Check this video out.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name?
Ali.
Ali. MashaAllah. How old are you?
7.
7
Wow,
years.
7 years Ali. MashaAllah.
ماما بابا موجودين؟
لا بس أمه.
بس ماما موجودة؟ بابا وين؟
بابا ميت.
بابا ميت رحمة الله عليه. ايش قد مشتاق لبابا علي؟
وايد.
ايش قد هواية؟
يعني تقريبا قد السنة.
I ask Ali, do you miss Dad? He says yes. And I said, how much do you miss Dad? And he's only 7 years old, but he's seen the difficulties of life that his answer is of an adult. And he says, I miss Dad in the space of the sky. في المستقبل شنو تريد تصير؟
أصير كابتن طيار.
إن شاء الله، إن شاء الله. شو تصير حق كابتن علي؟
إيه.
Captain Ali. He hopes that he'll grow up to be a captain. But brothers and sisters, this is your donations that Ali's dream of being a captain will come true. This is why we urge you to donate now and make Ali's dream come true.
Sponsor an orphan and weave dreams into reality. Give the gift of tomorrow. Sponsor an orphan and watch their world change through their eyes.
Welcome back, dear viewers. As you've seen, a young child who tells you firsthand what a gift is, what it means to them. But his first response is, look, these gifts are nice, but I want my father back. That's one of my main wishes. Of course, that can't happen, unfortunately. But what we can try and do is try to make their lives just a bit easier than what it is now.
Well,
and that's what your
that's the actual
contributions do.
orphanage we went to give the presents. Because he's holding a car there.
Yeah.
These are the kids that we were helping. And with these orphans, I mean, we cannot replace a parent, but we're just trying to give them a childhood that they deserve.
And look, it's only £25.
Yeah.
The Eid gifts for the end, in the next couple of days, actually.
Yeah.
We need them now, by the way, guys. So right here, right now, we need them only because we need to prepare them, make sure they receive them by the Eid occasion. So that's £25.
10 days till Eid, so we need at least for the next 7 days so that we can start. By the way, 9 times out of 10, we've already purchased it.
Oh, okay.
That's how the charity actually works. We have a target. We already purchased the money. They give us it on credit, and then we ask for donations to pay the credit back because it's not a case of what do you do when you get extra money. It's like there's no extra money. We've already we're already paying back what we owe. So brothers and sisters, if you guys want to get involved and you guys want to help make a memorious Eid for these children here, these orphans, some of them don't have their mothers or fathers. Both the parents are gone. Inshallah, pick up your mobile phone, scan the QR code right there, or visit imamhussaincharity.com.
Inshallah. On that note, guys, just to give you a quick reminder of what you can contribute to. It's £195 for Iraq, a sacrifice for Iraq, a dhabiha, as we call it in Iraqi. I believe that's a full goat. If I'm not mistaken, but yeah, I think it's a full goat. That's in Karbala, and that's the qurbani for that. In Afghanistan, it's £110. Africa is £40, and you can also provide some meat and chicken parcels for those that are in need. The details are on your screen. It's very, very simple to get in touch. Either you can get in contact with WhatsApp, or you can call us on the direct line, or just to make things easier for you, we've created a QR code that will take you straight to the website. You can choose whichever contribution and make that contribution. However, on another note, if you wanted to download an app called the Sadaqah app, this is Imam Hussain Charity's trademark Sadaqah app. This app, you're able to automate. You can make it very, very simple. You can put in your credit card details, all on this app to make sure that it is very, very simple. Here's a quick video to explain what it is.
Nice. Yes, you can download the Sadaqah app there, and inshallah, it'll be very, very nice and easy and smooth for you guys to donate towards those in need. Mr. Ali Fadhil.
Yes.
You've been on travels, have you?
I have recently, yes.
MashaAllah, where have you go?
So I went to, again, guys, please don't forget this. It's very annoying and in the ear. I went to America quite recently, and I attended a convention called the Ummah Convention. Now,
okay, that's yearly, isn't it? It's quite famous.
It is.
It's very big.
It's an annual thing that they have. It's been going on. Actually, it was their 20th anniversary this year.
20th anniversary.
20 years they've had. Yeah. So what I did with them is that I obviously, part of my work with Imam Hussain Charities, I have a campaign called the Prophetic Voyage.
Okay.
So I partner with mosques, madrasas, jama'as, whatever you want to call them, Hussainiyas, organizations, and then I deliver this story. In return, there's a small contribution that's made towards the charity. But I go...
So this is like a performance?
It is a performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what I do is I dress up in a costume, Ammu Ali. He's got a turban on and I wear a cloak and everything.
Nice.
And then I deliver this story in quite an animated way. I get them involved as well. So I'll ask them questions like, what does prophetic actually mean to you? So they get to a bit more of an understanding. So yeah, it's very interactive. I've done shed loads of them in the UK, traveling up and down Bradford, Manchester, Watford, all the different cities. Then I thought, you know what, let me try and partner with Ummah and deliver the prophetic voyage there. So we stepped foot in America, alhamdulillah. IHC is now in America, not in that way, but as in people are aware of Imam Hussain Charity in America, specifically in the Washington area, because I delivered this to about, if I'm not mistaken, about 100 kids were there.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, they loved it. It was very, very good. I'm hopefully in the end, towards the end of this year, I'm going to do a lot more work in America.
So for those who are watching, 2 questions.
Yes.
What is the aim of the prophetic voyage from both? I understand you want to, for the children to get involved and it's something to give back to the community. But ideally, what are we doing? Are we partnering up with IHC, with centres? Secondly, how can people book you?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So the idea is that we want the kids to be aware, because the thing is, before it or after the actual story, I give them a bit of a workshop around gratitude.
Okay.
So I don't want to throw it in their face, charity. I want them to be thankful for what they have and also cast their minds towards those who are less fortunate from a young age. So when they're young, they're aware, actually, there are people out there that don't have what I have, because when they grow up in a house, in a car, in a school, electricity, water, everything, they take for granted what they have and they don't really know that there are millions and millions of people out there that don't have what they have, right? Yeah. So I give them a bit of a workshop in terms of what's gratitude, but with that is the joyous, kind of fun, interactive, let's connect to the prophets.
Yeah.
So I let them understand the stories of the prophets in a very fun and interactive way. We go through, for example, Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Adam, Prophet Nuh, Prophet Muhammad. Those are the main kind of prophets that I speak about. Most of the time, as soon as I start the story, they're like, oh, we know this, we know. But I've tweaked it in a way where they don't know who this particular prophet is until later. For example, in the story of Prophet Nuh, right? I'd start off by saying this. So our character, I get the people to name who the character is. Our character is, for example, called Haydar, right? Okay. So Haydar walks up to this young boy who's digging something in the sand. So when he comes up to him, he says to him, what's going on here? He goes, look, leave me alone. I've got something very, very important to do. He goes, no, tell me, I want to help you. So then the other boy who's digging says, I'm putting in seeds for what I'm digging now, and what I'm planting now is going to be a tree that I'm going to be using 50 years later. Right? And so then whirlwind, storm. 50 years later, you see a man who's standing next to a tree. This tree is what was used to build Noah's Ark, right? So it's something like that, basically. Yeah. Wow. Ibrahim, also similarly, Ibrahim, the story stands with Ibrahim standing next to what looks like a temple, right? I don't actually say Ibrahim. I say our character Haydar walks up to this man. And this man is standing next to a temple. He's a young man. And he says, oh, do you want to go on an adventure with me? He goes, yeah, okay, let's go. So he goes, let's go inside. So when they take him inside, it's all dark. It's also, but what's going on? He's going to
smash
the idols. Yeah. So they slowly. It's a very, very interactive, very fun way for them to get to know.
Yeah.
So that's one. So the Hussainiyas, they partner with Imam Hussain Charity, right? So any of their socials has to have their logo, our logo, very, very normal stuff, right? But the contribution is quite important. I come in for free, as in I will go for free. But the contribution is made towards Imam Hussain Charity, a general donation, so that we know where we can allocate that particular money. That was the first question. What was the second question?
If you'd like to invite
yes,
Fadhil to your centre for the prophetic voyage, you can contact him on.
Yeah, so you can literally go onto the WhatsApp. You can contact me directly. You can contact the charity directly. In any way, shape, it's absolutely fine. However, with Ghadir season, Muharram season, Arba'in season, bookings are open from September onwards.
Okay.
Yeah, between September and January, that's going to do most of the prophetic voyage work, inshallah. Maybe even going into America. America, that's another thing as well. But any cities or states in America that want to or are interested in the prophetic voyage, again, do get in contact. We'll work something out towards the end of the year, inshallah.
Inshallah. Do we have another video? Hold on.
No, I was going to say go.
I was going to say, do you have another video we can play?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, so here's another video on some of the work that we're doing here at Imam Hussain Charity, and we'll be back shortly after this clip.
السلام عليكم. شنو اسمك؟ نور ما شاء الله. ايش قد عمرك؟ 6 years old. نور ما شاء الله.
كلش هواية؟ راوني بإيدك ايش قد؟ Allah, 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 Allah. She says, I would like to thank for those that have donated and contributed for the gifts that have been brought to the orphanage, because they brought a smile to their faces.
This is just Noor, but there are thousands of orphans all over Iraq, which means your help and your support.
Brothers and sisters, I urge you to donate now. Take the opportunity. The gifts will be going to all the orphans in Iraq, in Najaf, in Karbala, all around the world. Take this opportunity now for you to donate. And do not forget that your donations will contribute towards food, clothing, shelter, medication, and education, as well as toys.
Plant the seed of kindness. Sponsor an orphan and watch them bloom into a brighter future.
Welcome back, dear viewers of Imam Hussain Charity. We are streaming on Imam Hussain TV. If you've just joined us now, you are watching the 10 Days of Mercy, the Qurbani show, brought to you exclusively by Imam Hussain Charity. I think we're the only charity that comes on TV to talk about some of our initiatives, which is fantastic. I've taken time out of my Saturday afternoon, so has Syed Mohsen, so have two other producers, to give you this campaign. This campaign is a fantastic campaign. It's all about sacrifice, right? Sacrifice in any way, shape or form. There's a lot of sacrifices that we make, but one of the ones that we're asking you to do right here, right now, is sacrifice a bit of your income, your money, inshallah, in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Hajj and everything around Hajj season, Eid Al Adha, is all about sacrifice.
Indeed.
Right? Nabi Ibrahim attempted to sacrifice Nabi Ismail on the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah literally said to him, verbatim, I need you to kill your son.
Yes.
Literally said, I want you to kill your son. This is after what, 90 years, 100 years of having no children.
Yeah.
But then he had this child. The child was about what, 5 or 6, here or there, 5 or 6. And you've grown attached to this child. Like, we're talking attached to this child. Obviously. His life and soul is this child. He's waited for 90 years to have a child. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, you know what? I want you to sacrifice him. Not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just wants to do that just for the sake of it, but He wants to test. And that's, we actually called it in the Quran. This is a big bala, a big tragedy. A big tragedy. It's a big, massive bala. Let's see how the Prophet deals with it. And again, Prophet Ibrahim submits to the will of Allah. Not only does Prophet Ibrahim submit, but his son, Prophet Ismail, says, look, if this is what you have been commanded to do, then do it. You'll find me of the patient ones. And so he also submitted to the will of Allah. When his wife, Nabi Ibrahim's wife, heard this is going to happen, she also sacrificed and said, I submit to the will of Allah. And that's what we want you to do, dear brothers and sisters. Sacrifice what little that you have so that these guys everyone out there who don't have nutritious meals, who don't have the meat, don't have the food, don't have the resources to be able to provide for their families, you're able to help them out as much as you can.
Brothers and sisters, the details are there on the bottom. We have the different packages. Whether you'd like to help those in Iraq, those in Afghanistan, or those in Africa, you guys can just go to the website. You can scan the QR code, which is on one of the corners there, or you can download the Sadqa app, and obviously the campaigns will be there. Not only are we providing meat, but also we are providing gifts for children for this Eid. You can have someone recite Ziyarat Imam Hussein, Ziyarat Arafah, I think it's called, on the day of Arafah by the shrine of Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam. And also over the next 10 days, these holy days where people are going towards Mecca and Medina to perform the rituals of Hajj. You can donate your sadaqah, inshallah, and on these nights your sadaqah will gain even more and more thawab. And speaking of Hajj, we have a Hajji with us.
Yes.
Mr. Mullah Ali Fadhil.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
You, mashallah, went in what year did you go?
Oh, I can't tell you what year, but it was about 8 years ago.
Mashallah.
It was a long time ago,
Wow.
alhamdulillah.
So before you went to the land, what was the niyyah? What was the intention? Did you plan to go, or was it just, you know what, there's a space, I've got the money for it, why not?
No, to be honest with you, I was invited as a reciter.
Okay.
So I did a lot of recitations when I was there, especially in Medina. But the opportunity came about, and it wasn't one that I was going to turn down. I was able to tick that box. Not that it's a tick box thing, but I was at least I could say now, you know, I've done that wajib. Alhamdulillah. It was a bit of a weird experience for me because previously I had been to Umrah. Before that, but a good maybe 10 years before that. So I'm talking about maybe 20 years ago that I went to Umrah. I was quite young. So going to Hajj, this is like, Umrah was like the intro, but this is now the real deal, right? And nothing, I tell you, nothing could have prepared me for the rigors of Hajj. Umrah is a piece of cake compared to Hajj.
So I get the main difference with Umrah, it's just done in one place, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just do the tawaf, maybe Safa and Marwa, the run, and then a final tawaf and cut a bit of hair, and you're done.
And you're done.
That's it.
That's
probably done
literally
in a day. You can do it in
You
half
do it in
a
3
day.
hours.
3 hours.
You can literally do it in 3
So
hours.
Umrah is 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hajj
is 3 days, my guy. 3 days. Yeah, it was. Look, it takes a lot out of you, but I get why, because the wisdom behind it is we want to put you through so much struggle, so much self-reflection, make you feel almost like you're worth nothing. Do you know why? Because in Muzdalifah, there's an area that we have to sleep. You have to sleep on the floor. Like you have to find a place.
Is it naked sky as well or something?
Under the skies, next to the mountains. And you have to sleep on the floor, and you know, there's rubble around you, there's stones, there's rubbish, and it makes you feel worthless in a way. We walk around as prideful human beings. We've got the ego, but every single one of us is exactly the same. Everyone's got a cloth, an ihram, wrapped around them. You can't tell the rich from the poor. You can't tell, you know, who's who, what's what. You can't tell class, black, white, brown, whatever it is. Doesn't make a difference. You're all exactly the same, and you're all literally worthless. We are worthless slaves at that moment, right? So it really takes a lot out of you. Like you've got to put yourself in that mode to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to submit to whatever the ritual is, right? So obviously we had guides. We did the Arafat, we did the du'as in Arafat, and we went to Muzdalifah, and then Mina. We had to sleep there as well. They were slightly comfortable-ish, but yeah, all of that is across kind of like 2 days. There's a tawaf, and then there's a sa'i, and then there's the throwing of the. There's so much that you need to do, but it feels like it didn't feel. It felt long, but it's actually about a day and a half. Right, the whole thing, but it did feel a lot. You know, it does take a lot out of you. I won't.
What is the hardest bit? Because for those who are planning to go this year, and inshallah those who are going to go in the future, I've heard different stories. Some say, you know what, the hardest thing is sitting in the coach for 4 hours waiting to get through a checkpoint. Others say the hardest part is, you know, sleeping in the rubble and so forth. Others say it's the actual ihram. No perfumes allowed. You can't brush your hair. You can't scratch your skin. You can't cut your nails. There's a lot. So
no, those are minor. Those are, compared to what you actually had to go through. Those are minor. Okay, so you don't have to. You don't scratch. You don't look in the mirror. You don't perfume yourself. Okay, no problem. We can get through that, right? But the sleeping on the floor for that, when you're knackered and you're tired and you just want a place to sleep. But look, you have to put yourself. There's no sympathy is great, but you have to put yourself in that, because at the end of the day, what you're going to emerge with, what you're going to emerge out of, is a pure soul, and that's what you want. right? The sacrifice that you give, you emerge from that, you take off your ihram. When you're taking off the ihram, as we said earlier, you're removing all of those sins. You're removing your past life and you've come new, right? And that's the idea behind it. The most difficult for me was actually the tawaf and the sa'i.
Really?
Yeah, tawaf is hard. Tawaf is, especially when it's packed out.
People,
There's a lot of people, Tawaf is hard, but if you're reading du'as, it'll go around quickly because once you finish one, once you finish in du'a, you finished one, and then the second and the third, you got to do 7. But there's so many because you got to do 1, and then there's a lot that goes into it. But again, from an experience of like a first time, and you're actually proper removing all your ego and saying, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am here, do what you want. Like you've got to reach that stage. Like I am a total slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because I fear, not because I have to, but because I love removing my ego, removing my pride to say, Allah, this is me.
Yourself before your Lord.
Yeah, humble yourself. Really need to humble yourself before your Lord, right? So a quick reminder to the dear viewers. Yes, you had one.
Did you shave your hair?
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you remember Higher by any chance? The track
Yes.
Higher. So I recorded Higher 2 weeks after I came from so I'm bald.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm bald. So I recorded it a week after I came back from Hajj.
Yes, you're
quickly
right,
edited it and
you had very short buzz cut.
I had a buzz cut. Yeah. So I
Yeah, I
recorded that
remember.
straight after. Yeah. That was 2012, 11. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a couple of minutes. You want to give them a reminder of what they can contribute to, Syed Mohsen?
Definitely, brothers and sisters, you are contributing towards the Qurbani appeal, where we will be giving meat to those in Iraq, Afghanistan, and also in Africa. We are asking for you guys to donate to help a whole animal. If you can't give a whole animal, you can give half. If you can't give half, give a quarter. You can't give a quarter, £25 for a small mixed meat package, which will have some chicken and some lamb and some beef and so forth for these destitute families. Also, we're £25 to give a child an Eid experience that they will remember for the rest of the year. And finally, we have the Sadaqah app and the Sadaqah that you can give over the next 10 days, and for someone to recite on your behalf at the shrine of Abu Abdullah Hussain on Yawm al-Arfa.
Inshallah. We're going to end very, very quickly on the first video that we showed, just in case you missed it. It gives you a recap and a summary of everything that we require from you and why we are helping those who are less fortunate. So we're going to leave you with this video and leave you with our du'as. Once again, congratulations on the wedding anniversary of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Fatima Zahra. For those who are still looking for their life partners, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you the perfect life partner for you. Inshallah, through the struggles, but inshallah you'll get there. If you're young, if you're old, doesn't matter. From Imam Ali alayhi salam and Fatima Zahra, the same love that they had between them, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow upon you guys, inshallah. And I've just been notified that Syed Mohsen is a bachelor, so
I'm very happy bachelor, thank you.
Yeah, so Syed Mohsen is a bachelor, so inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you a family very, very soon. On that note, we'll see the video, and then any last words before you...
Yes, finally, I'd like to, for those of you who are planning to go to Hajj, inshallah, please remember us in your du'as. For those of you, it's not your turn, inshallah, next year will be your turn. Mr. Ali Fadhil was talking about sacrifice and saying that, we were talking about sacrifice, and, the Prophet Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam sacrificed his son for the pleasure of Allah, but the greatest sacrifice was on the plains of Karbala, with Abu Abdullah Hussain, who gave everything he had to and for the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is in his name and this charity we run this campaign. And inshallah, if it's not in the name of Hazrat Ibrahim, do it in the name of Abu Abdullah Hussain and for what he sacrificed.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. On that note, inshallah, we'll see you in about a week and a half's time for the martyrdom of Imam Al-Baqir alayhi salam. Stay tuned for details on that show. But from now, inshallah, we'll see you soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Across the world, there are families that are not celebrating Eid the way they should be celebrating. There are thousands and thousands of people who are suffering from hardship and hunger, and that's where you can come in. Your Qurbani donations can make that difference by, hopefully just for one day, providing these families with a bit of hope so that families, maybe just for one day, forget about their hardships. Share your Qurbani donations to Imam Hussain Charity and provide a nutritious, healthy, clean meat to those families that are desperately in need. In places like Africa, in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan, sacrifice just a little to give a lot this Eid. Donate today at www.imamhussaincharity.com.
السلام عليكم. عليكم السلام. شنو اسمك? His name is Fadhil, and I think Fadhil is like 3 years old. He's one of the orphans in the orphanage. شنو تريد هديتك؟ عادي؟ مطمئن؟ يلا بسم الله خلينا نروح نسأل أسئلتك. Hassan is 8 years of age and only mom is here. Hassan, Baba وين؟
بابا؟
نعم.
بابا
بابا ما هو ميت. شنو سبب وفاة بابا؟
كهرب.
لا إله إلا الله. بالليل تشتاقين لبابا؟ ايش قد تشتاقين لبابا حبيبتي؟ هواي يعني ايش قد؟
بقلب العالم.
شنو يفرحك نبع؟ الهدايا. بعد شنو يفرحك؟
ألا من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه، اللهم وال من والاه وعاد من عاداه.
سلام على آل ياسين، السلام عليك يا داعي الله ورباني آياته، السلام عليك يا باب الله وديان دينه، السلام عليك يا خليفة الله وناصر حقه، السلام عليك يا حجة الله ودليل إرادته، السلام عليك يا تالي كتاب الله وترجمانه، السلام